Welcome to Retirement Key Radio with Abe Abish.
So you remember that individual retirement account that you opened a few years back, that IRA? Well, how long has it been since you went back and checked on it and rebalanced it? Because NerdWallet came up with a list of common mistakes people make with their IRAs. So Abe, can you talk about some of the points, these mistakes that we make that they pointed out, and let us know what we can do to correct those errors?
Absolutely, Heather. Here are the 5 mistakes.
Okay.
Taking on more risk than they should be, failing to fund their IRAs every year, contributing slowly instead of all at once, failing to explore their investment options, and maintaining multiple retirement accounts. Let me address a few. Risk. One of the main reasons people call into our show and want a second opinion on their entire retirement plan, an investment X-ray, a portfolio X-ray, is because they believe they're taking on too much risk, and most people are. You know, they've done a good job of saving and accumulating. Now they know they need income. Their working paychecks are going to stop, and they got to make this income last another 30 years into their 90s, and they don't want to run out of money at 88 or 85, right? And so taking on too much risk can potentially cause that. Another thing, consolidation, maintaining too many retirement accounts. This can cause confusion. It can be a headache in terms of dealing with RMDs down the road and different things. So simply consolidating a lot of your accounts, you wouldn't believe, Heather, people that come in with 8, 10, 12 different IRAs out there. It's, yes, seriously.
Lord, okay.
There are several clients we're helping right now with like 8 to 10 IRAs. We're saying just from a consolidation standpoint, to be able to deal with one custodian or 2 custodians just getting statements from 1 or 2 places instead of 8 to 10, that's going to take some pressure off, right? That's going to allow you to sleep a little bit better at night. It's got to, right? That can be a real headache. So we just helped a couple that called into the show, and they live down in the Stafford area of Virginia, and they're in their early 60s. They're retiring in about 2 to 3 years. Former military, government employees, got some nice pensions, got about $1 million saved, but they really felt like they needed a distribution plan. So here they are, very smart people, the last 2 or 3 years of their working career, got a bunch of stuff, pensions, military pensions, VA disability, government pensions, Social Security, $1 million, real estate, got a bunch of stuff, but Abe, man, we don't feel like we've got enough. We don't feel like we know what we're headed into for this next season of our lives. We need a plan. It's that simple sometimes. So they called into the show to get a second opinion and to create a plan. That was their problem. They had no plan, no written retirement income plan that's going to show them how to put all these pieces together. So they've done a good job of saving. But how do you know where you're going? How do you know what to track and measure if you don't have a plan to follow every year? Now, a lot of people, Heather, have a really hard time understanding the concept of this mindset shift that we have to have, right? From just thinking growth, return, rate of return, to growth and income. Why? Because we're just a few years away from work. We're just a few months away from retiring. 5 or 10 years away from retiring, and we've got to turn that mindset into income, right? How are we going to make sure that we're okay for the next 30 to 40 years? Well, one of the things that we talk about so much in this plan is our clients' risk tolerance, and 8, 9 out of 10 people that come in are taking on too much risk this last year. You know, last couple of years, people have been going more into equities and stocks because in cash and, you know, CDs and treasuries and all these safer instruments, the yield isn't there. You know, why put a lot of your money into something that's only going to earn 1 to 3%?
And the stock market's been so hot. It's like, give me that.
But that's the opposite thing that a pre-retiree would want to do, is to take on more risk, go out further on that risk spectrum if they're just about to retire. Why? Because they can't afford to lose 20, 30, 40% right before they retire. So one of the things that we help them with, and they wanted help with, is reducing their risk, de-risking their portfolio right before they retire. So what we did is we helped them to protect 50% of their nest egg. When they came in, they were at a 7 or an 8 on a scale of 1 to 10 in terms of risk. They wanted to bring that down to a 5. And what they said is, hey, we want to know that 50% of our nest egg is secure. What does that mean to us? That doesn't mean any losses. That means secure. That means no losses. That means we need to look at off-market strategies that are out of the market that are not going to lose any money, right? We also need to be realistic with those growth expectations, right? If we're out of the market and we're securing our client's principal and they can't lose any money, well, then what does the upside look like? Well, maybe 4 to 6%. Maybe 4, 5, 6%, right? A reasonable, yield for our quote unquote safer dollars. Well, what about the rest of the dollars, Abe and team? What are we going to do with those?
Right.
Well, we deploy technology. So we have technology and algorithms and artificial intelligence protections and safety measures wrapped around our clients' investments. That doesn't mean they can't lose any money. Hey, they're in the market.
Sure.
But let's take on smart risk, right?
Right.
Let's have options. Let's be flexible. Let's know that, if need be, we can be flexible. We can go to cash. We can sense the volatility that's going on out there, so we're not taking too much risk, and we can be nimble and prepared, because the market always goes up and down, and we need to be prepared for the good times and bad. So that's how we help that couple. They came into us with no plan. They came into us with pension, Social Security, $1 million saved, wanting to reduce risk, and we helped them with all of that.
You know what I was going to say when you were giving this analogy of these people with like 10 or 12 different accounts they have to juggle? I was thinking, remember the Marie Kondo phase that hit when everybody was freaking out and organizing everything?
Yes.
Everything should spark joy in your life, right? That's what you're doing. You're helping us create a retirement plan that helps us spark joy by organizing all of our accounts.
Yep. That's having 222 statements come in every quarter does not spark joy for many people.
Joy. No.
Right.
That's why we need you to help us cull things down and organize and create a streamlined plan, one that you could understand and feel confident about, not overwhelmed and bombarded by. That's what Abe and the team are here to help you create, and a plan of your own, one that's customized to you and your goals. You can always find more online anytime at retirementkeyradio.com, and then get ready to spark your own retirement joy. Abe, I think we're going to have to figure out a way to get that into all of our programs. I like that too much. There is a lot to consider in the way of our joyful years ahead. And when it comes to figuring it all out, we were just talking about the markets and the volatility and the risk there, Abe. There is a lot of speculation about how the Biden administration might affect the markets. So stock analyst Hillary Kramer, she was telling Reuters that she's expecting a sharp decline before the year is out.
We could see a retracement easily 20 to 30%. Not necessarily today. We might have another 6 months of this, but there will be this tipping point, which very well may happen when investors start selling an expectation of a capital gains tax being implemented. And that could be the tipping point that sends the market hurling downwards.
20 to 30%, Abe. That's significant decline, especially for those of us who are close to retirement. What do we need to know and keep in mind?
Yeah, and we've even seen a recent pullback here lately, Heather. I mean, look at tech stocks. I mean, 10-15% pullback here in the last 45 days or so. So that is the last thing a 60, 65, 70-year-old needs right before they retire or right into retirement. And so part of our code of conduct, Heather, as a certified financial fiduciary, is to practice the duty of good care. That means the fundamental obligation to exercise the skill of an expert and only to advise in those areas where expert skill has been achieved. Well, part of building a retirement income plan is knowing all of the pieces that are going to affect that plan. One of those things is risk, and clients need to reduce risk at the point of retirement. I believe a lot of people need to be much more realistic as well in this next 5 to 10 years in terms of returns in the market and on their whole portfolio. And we'll get into that in just a minute. So we had some clients call in. They live in Lovettsville of Virginia, out in Loudoun County, Western Loudoun County. They came to us as a 10, all in stocks, early 60s. Retiring around 70, about $750,000 saved, $750,000 saved. And they wanted to come down to a 6, so that typical 60-40 split between equities and fixed income. We helped them do just that. We helped them to reduce risk. We helped them to get some safe stuff in their portfolio. And their safe stuff even did well in the last 12 months. And then on the assets under management side, they're riskier stuff. We help them to reduce risk on that side as well, to reduce standard deviation, to put in some protections and safety measures, that moat around the castle we've talked about on the show before. And they felt a lot better with the plan by controlling what they can. So in terms of realistic expectations, Barron's in the Wall Street Journal says we should expect about 3.3% more on stocks than bonds every year on average. But if bonds are only going to get us to 1 to 3, and you add in another 3.3 on top of that for stocks and equity returns, that doesn't mean for a huge return, right, on the stock side the next 5 or 10 years, maybe a 4 to a 6 or 4 to a 7. So we need to be very realistic about what we can expect on our whole portfolio going forward as well.
Find out more at retirementkeyradio.com. Financial professionals are not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if Abraham Abish is licensed in your state, please call 571-577-9968. Abish Financial Services is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through Abraham Abish, NBM number 7703575.